Hello my friends, I'd like to welcome you to another video and another build series. This is going to be a really special build series. This is going to be in honor of me reaching the 3,000 subscriber mark, and this is going to be the build series of this lovely lady right here, but not this version of her. We're going to be doing the U.S.S. Enterprise NCC-1701 Refit as seen in Star Trek the motion picture. I wanted to do something special for my 3,000 subscriber video, and what we're going to do today is the introduction to the build. We're actually going to do the unboxing of the 1979 Star Trek the motion picture U.S.S. Enterprise from AMT. This model has lights, saucer lights that really work, new rainbow effect decals, new rub down transfers, over 22 inches long assembled, and a display stand included from Star Trek motion picture. See that lovely illustration, now iconic, on front of the box. And looking at the end of the box, we'll see the kit number. This is S970, and you can see we got a Star Trek poster offer inside. Not a poster, just an offer. And you can see the same illustration that's on the cover. And I think it's the same on both ends of the box. Yep, but there's no sticker for the poster offer. Alright, let's check out the side of the box. You can see Matchbox. The reason Matchbox is on there is because of Lindsay. Matchbox, they had at the time purchased the AMT modeling company. This kit is quality molded in a way which will allow the younger modeler to build an attractive replica without painting. If you wish to paint your model, follow these pictures for additional colors and details. Color content subject to change. Paint and cement not included. You can see Lindsay, Baltimore, Maryland. And it goes on to show some pictures. I don't know if this is of the model kit that's built or if it's actually the filming model. You can see on the bottom where they got the lights around the sensor dome, and on the top the docking port behind the bridge, and the lounge at the bottom on B deck or C deck, excuse me. And you can see the finished model with the rainbow decals. And the deflector dish. Now the deflector dish is not lit, so they did a really good job making it appear that way. Either that or that is the official deflector dish, I'm not sure. And you can see another version with the lights. Okay, let's check out the other side. And again, we got the new Star Trek the motion picture U.S.S. Enterprise. S970801, featuring no fuss, rub down transfers, no water needed, saucer lights that really work, display stand included, or you can suspend in space, over 22 inches long, and you can see the lights, the saucer section, and on the bottom where the sensor dome is. Press on rainbow effect decals, and they're more like stickers. I remember seeing this as a kid and just going crazy. Okay, why don't we take it over? We're going to open it up, we're going to sacrifice this kit, and we're going to build the U.S.S. Enterprise NCC-1701 Refit from Star Trek the motion picture. Alright, so we got some more light at the desk. I tell you guys, I don't know about you, but my childhood, when we went into Child World and I was looking for the Star Trek stuff and I went into the model section and I saw this, I just went crazy. And you can see the box. It's just iconic, an iconic part of my childhood. The whole illustration with the lights coming from the saucer section, from the Sensidome. I just get giddy when I see this kit, and check it out. It was actually reduced, and it was $13.97, so that was a pretty real good price. And then look at what it was reduced to, $4.97. That's just nuts. And if you guys are into this model kit, you know that this one is getting increasingly rare, so it's really hard to find. And you can see there's a Star Trek poster inside. You can see the beautiful Star Trek the motion picture, and there's nothing on the back. There's just a number that's punched. It's 100-275. Okay, my friends, without further ado, let's open it. Kind of sad because it's from 1979 and they're rare, hard to find, but at the same time, you know, when you see a lot of these on eBay, they're all open. You very rarely get to open it up and see actually what the kit came with. So let's go ahead and for the first time since 1979 when it was sealed, it is being opened. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to keep the sticker. Yeah, I know. Let's open up this beautiful box and let's check it out. All right. First thing I notice, we got a battery pack and we got some wires. Let's open this up. And what does the bag say? Lesney AMT 100-259 Hong Kong. And first thing I noticed, this is the lighting kit, so you can see the leads, and what we have in here are the lights. So looks like we got a rivet. Let me show you guys the rivet. I want to lose that. And we've got, I'm going to try to get the battery compartment. You can see the leads coming off of here. And this is probably for the switch. And we have the battery compartment. And it uses 2 C batteries, and I don't know if we're going to be using this because we're going to be putting a lot of lights in it, so I'm not sure if we're going to use this or if we're going to actually plug it in. And you can see we've got some of the lights. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 6 of the LED lights. And again, this is probably for the switch. Make contact. And we've got the net positive, the negative leads coming off. And this is from Aristocraft from Hong Kong. So that looks like the lighting kit. I don't see anything else that will have the electronics in it, so okay. So we put that aside, and let's go ahead and open up this magnificent plastic bag. And first thing I notice on this tree, looks like we have a secondary. Let me just go ahead and take everything out of this bag. Yeah, it's all stuck. All right. First thing I notice, we've got the secondary hull. Look at that. Beautiful. And you guys may or may not notice, but some people may refer to this model kit as the smoothie because, you know, from Star Trek II, the Wrath of Khan edition of this model kit on, they did all these little lines. I don't know if it was supposed to simulate the Aztecing, but it was great engraved, and it had all little squares on it. And well, anyway, this is the smooth version, the smooth hull. And what we're going to do with this is, I actually have the full set of Aztecing decals for the entire model, and I'll be showing you guys that in another video. You can see the this is the starboard side of the hull, and the plastic is so much better. I can feel the quality of the thickness of the plastic of the model. And it looks almost like a cream color, where it's not white. And we're going to paint it because we're going to put some lights in, and we're going to make her look fantastic. And you can see the deflector dish. And I've got some special parts that we're going to replace this with, where we're actually going to light the deflector dish, and we're going to bring her to life. Over here you can see where the nacelle pylons are going to go, with the strong backs. And you can see it at the top of the secondary hull that lead up to the back or the bottom of the saucer pylon. And the plastic is nice and thick, rigid, sturdy. And you guys, they have the these are the parts that are going to go on the bottom of the saucer section. I don't know why they did this. I don't know if it was easier for molding purposes for the model, as opposed to just making them with these already in. But you can see they have the windows that are open, so we can light them up. Nice and crisp. There's no flash at all on this model. This tree looks fantastic. So that's the first one. This is the secondary hull. So let's put this aside for a minute. And what's next? It looks like we have one of the nacelles. Love it. And this is 1/537 scale, and this is actually going to be a good size. This is pretty large. Let me show you guys something really quick. Now I'm working on the Aztecing for the 1/350 refit. And let me show you guys the difference between the 1/350 scale and the 1/537 scale. But even the 1/537 scale, this is a really good size model. I mean, this is huge. And we're working on the Aztecing. We're actually putting the paint masks on, but I'm having some problems with the masks sticking to the paint. So this is proving to be a hassle. But anyway, that's a different video for a different time. Back to this one. We've got the nacelle pylons. And again, these are nice and sturdy, nice and clean. Hardly any flash on it at all. And they just look great. And I actually have the inserts that we're going to put on the inside of the chiller grills, and we're going to light those as well. You can see where the plastic was molded. And again, this is so nice and sturdy and rigid. They just don't model like this anymore. It might be an interesting video to do a comparison between the first release of the Enterprise refit and the latest release. That might be an interesting video before we actually go on and build this one. So what do you guys think? We can do that. If you guys want to see that, let me know in the comments. But look at the Bassard collector. Again, these parts are gorgeous. Nice and sturdy. Alright, put that aside. And the other tree, it looks like one of the nacelles came off. Yeah, so this is going to be black. And what we're going to do is, we've got a little light that's going to be shining through this little section right here. And you can see that the fin is solid. And I have some tiny SMDs that I'm hoping to put in here to drill in and put them on, but that's going to be tough because it's solid plastic. But we'll see. Let's look at the rest of the tree now. You can see the inner half of the pylon, or the nacelle. You can see the coil. It'd be nice if that was a separate part, because it'd be easier to paint, but it's okay. Again, this is from 1979. This is the first time it's been open. Love it. And looks like the nacelle pylon came off the tree, so looking at the one it's on, this would be the inside. You can tell it's got one triangle. Nice and sturdy. You can see the outside. You can tell it's the outer part because in addition to the triangle in the corner, it's got the grills in the center. And we'll be lighting the pylons up just to make her look like she did on screen. And looks like we have a tree. This is the last tree. Just kind of fix the box. The last tree. And you can see we got the base. Now, if you watched my the Klingon ship, the Alien Battle Cruiser from AMT, the first release, it had the same kind of base, but it was clear, and we were able to light it. This one is not clear, but this one, let me show you, this is the piece right here, and this V is actually going to slide in over here like that, just like that. And that's what she's going to be mounted on. So we're probably going to paint it black. Or we might do the gold and silver. I'm not sure. We did the Enterprise D with the gold and silver base, and I thought it looked pretty nice. But we'll see. Anyway, that's going to be the base, and what we're probably going to do is we're probably going to do the same thing we did for the Klingon Battle Cruiser. We'll put the jack over there, and we'll plug her in. That's the base. You can see on the bottom you got the planetary sensor dome. You can see the little ridges. And you can actually see where the light will be coming out. That'll be fantastic. I think there's a clear part that goes in there that goes up towards the bridge. I'm not sure, I don't remember. It's been a long time since I made this model. Hopefully I do a better job this time around than I did back then. And you can see the bridge area, the bridge dome. We got B deck, and we go around to the back, and you can actually see where the docking port was. You guys remember Star Trek: The Motion Picture, Mr. Spock was shuttled from Vulcan on a Vulcan craft, and it docked in the back over there. And you guys remember that's when Mr. Spock made his appearance on the ship. Over on the other side, this is interesting. I almost didn't even notice this. You can see this part right here. I don't know if that's the switch. We'll find out in the instructions. And you can see the shuttle bay door. Again, I got the shuttle bay for the 1350 Enterprise that we're working on over here. And you can see the difference in sizes between the 1350 and the 1537. And again, that's a different video. And we got the beautiful saucer pylon. And we're actually going to light her up just like she did on screen. The same way that if you guys watch my 1350 Enterprise refit, we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to make it look as close to the screen as possible with all the lights. I've learned a lot since I've been making that kit. And I learned a lot about lighting and SMDs. And so hopefully this one will end up coming out much, much better. And plus, I want to make this one special because this is the 3,000 subscriber special build. So I want to be able to put this in my videos in the introduction so we can look at her. And you can see the docking port again on the side. And again, you guys may be thinking, well, the 1350 is huge and that's the one that I want. And that's cool. You know, that is cool. Because the 1350 kit is amazing. But I gotta tell you guys, this one's not really that bad, and this one is a lot more affordable. Not this kit per se, because it's expensive and it's hard to find, but AMT actually re-released this kit, and you can get it for about 35 bucks. And it's really not a bad kit, and it's a good size too. It's pretty big. Well, it's almost 2 feet. You can look at the back now, and you can see the impulse engines, and that looks like, I do believe we got the photon torpedo launcher right there, and this looks like the docking port. Yep, that's going to go on the back of the B deck. And you can see, well, maybe you can see Paramount Pictures Corporation. Of course, everything is copyrighted. Oh, that looks a lot better. And that's the last tree that was in the bag. Let's put that aside for a moment. Put this aside too. And we got another bag, and we got the big, beautiful saucer section, or primary hull. Look at that. And again, like I was saying, guys, it's not as big as the 1350, but this is still a pretty large kit. Pretty big. So why don't we open up the bag and check this out. Again, I hope you're enjoying this video with me. I feel like a little kid, like I did when I saw this, and it's been so long, I don't really remember opening it up for the first time. You know, I just ripped it open and tried to slap it together, and my results weren't that great. I totally destroyed it. But again, guys, I was talking to you about the smoothie, or the smoothness of the saucer in the hull. You can see there's none of those awful little rectangles and squares that are just littering the whole thing. So the paint is going to go on beautifully, and we've got the Aztecing decals. Now, I did think about doing the masks, because I love the 4-color Aztecing patterns, and they just don't have that in the decals. But the problems that I've been having, if you guys following my Star Trek The Motion Picture 1350 refit build, the masks are just impossible. I've done the saucer, the secondary hull, I've done the saucer pylon, I've done both nacelle pylons, and now we're working on the port nacelle, and the little masks. You got to put them on, you got to take sections of it off, paint the color. It's pearlescent, and you paint the color. We're using red, yellow, blue, and green. Then you got to wait for it to dry after you airbrush it, and then you got to mark the pieces with a marker and then put them back in the area. And you got to do that for all 4 colors. And then if that's not hot enough, the masks are not sticking to the paint. Let me show you real quick. They just don't want to stick to this. And every time I go to use the airbrush, half of the sticker, the masks would blow off, and it was just like totally driving me crazy. Let me see, did I do this section yet? Yeah, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see the Aztecing. And I know, guys, it's a lot of work for something that you actually have to look to see. But in the end, it just looks amazing. And at the end, it'll be worth it. But anyway, this is where we're at. And my next video, we're going to be doing this last section. And once this section is done, then I can start thinking about doing the painting and the decals to finish it off before we start lighting it, what I call the really fun part. But anyway, hopefully you can see the Aztecing. And this is another video. So back to the beautiful primary hull. So that's why I decided to get the Aztecing decals. And they're the 2-color, but I think it's still going to look nice. We're going to paint this, and I want to make her look just like she did on screen. So what I want to do is, first thing we're going to do, like I usually do with my models, is we're going to put a coat of the reflective paint on the inside. And let's see, do I have that available? Yes. I like to use the Rust-Oleum, the metallic finish, and that acts as 2 things. First thing it's going to do is it's going to light block. It's going to help light block. So when we have the lights that we're going to run and we're going to light up the section, we're going to have no light leaks. So that's one thing that it's going to do. The second thing that it does is it's going to help reflect the light on the inside. I'm thinking with something this large, we'll use the LED tape. We could use the tape going around the saucer section, and maybe we can use a few of the LEDs. That'll be almost the way I have it pictured in my head is it'll be on a frame, and we'll have 4 bulbs on 4 sides and 1 on the top and 1 on the bottom for the bridge and for the saucer, the sensor dome on the bottom. But that's what I have planned out in my head. And if it comes out looking halfway as good as it does in my head, it's going to be really, really special. And again, this is my 3,000 subscriber build. It's got to be special. Check out the back. You can see we got the crystal for the impulse engines. And you can see the detail in that. Hopefully you can see the detail in that. So that is the top of the saucer section. And what we have next is the bottom. Beautiful. And again, this is so sturdy. The quality of the model was just, I'm not dissing Polar Lights or Round 2 because I love Round 2. But it's just the models, they don't have the same feel and the same quality that this one had. You can see all the windows, and this is where the sensor dome is going to go. You can see the openings for the lights to come through, where we can actually light the bottom. Because on the top of the saucer section, we are going to light the registry markings. But on the bottom, in addition to the registry markings in the front, they also had light coming out on all 4 sides of the bottom. And I kind of want to do that true to form to the screen. So I think we're going to do that. You can see where the secondary hull, the saucer pylon, is going to be. And ultimately the impulse engines are going to go in the back. And as we go around the outer side, or the outer rim of the saucer section, you can see the thrusters, and you can see the openings. So we're going to have to glue the windows in and putty it up, make it nice and smooth. And we'll do that before we start painting with the light blocking and such. And we get that going all the way around. And again, look at how there's really maybe a tiny bit of flash, but for the most part, it's so clean. And we go back around to the impulse engine. Now, I can feel kind of almost like a really thin grease-like feel on the parts. So what we're going to do is we're going to wash them all. It's a nice hot soapy water. Just whatever release agent on there has had it. Well, it's from 1979, so you know it's had a long time to just kind of sit there. So the first thing we'll do is wash it up. We'll get it ready, and then we'll start putting the sections together and painting. But we're going to come up with a lighting plan as well. As you can see, the beacons are not actual lights. What we're going to have to do is remove these and put actual lights in. So that is the bottom of the primary hull. So it looks like now, it looks like we have the instructions, and there look to be some stickers. So I've been dying to see these. All right. So these are the stickers. And how cool is that? We got the chiller grills that are going to go on the inner parts, and we have the black grills that are going to go on the outside, and we have the photon torpedo launcher, and we've got the impulse engines, and these are peel and stick. Again, these are from 1979. This is so wild. And look, I never noticed this before. We actually have the docking ports. Look like these are the ones that are going to go on either side of the nacelle pylon. And this is the one that can go in the back of the B deck under the bridge. You know, I never really noticed those before. That's pretty cool. And those are the stickers that come with the kit. And these are the rub down transfers. And what you do with these is just take the protection off. Oh, that might not be a good idea. Let's keep the protective backing on. So what you do is you would lay this piece, so you can cut this out. You lie this onto the, let's see, which section is that going to be for? This will be for, I think it's going to be for the back over here. So what you do is you would rub it, you would put it down on the surface, and then you would rub it. And what it's supposed to do is it's supposed to come off this paper, and it's actually going to come on to the plastic. And you can see they have the thrusters. They have the docking ports, which is a nice touch. They've got the arboretum, and we've got the beautiful United Federation of Planets with the this is going to go in front of that, the Delta logo. And finally, it looks like we have U.S.S. Enterprise that's going to go in the back over here. And the U.S.S. Enterprise is actually going to go right here with that iconic NCC-1701. Love it. And these are in really great condition. Looking on eBay, they had some of the kits that were open, and they were all rubbed off, and they just really looked terrible. These look really good. All right, so let's put these aside. And what is this? This is a Star Trek Flyer rub down transfer. To apply rub down transfers, follow these easy steps. 1. If assembled model is unpainted, wash the model with warm soapy water before putting the decals in place. 2. Remove the protective backing sheet off the decal, and that was just the wax paper. 3. For ease of application, the decal may be cut apart. 4. Hold the decal firmly. Use a decal burnisher, part number 28, and rub the decal lightly. The decal will transfer to the surface of the model. Now that's what that is. Okay. Carefully lift away the decal sheet, making certain the entire decal has been transferred. Place the protective backing sheet over the decal and rub firmly with the flat end of the burnishing tool. Spray several coats of clear acrylic spray for an added protective coat. Do not use a lacquer-based spray, because if it's strong, it'll just disintegrate what's there. And it looks like we have the detail on how to wire it. So you can see step one, we've got the primary hull, the secondary hull, and you can see the lead that we're going to put through over here. And part number 29, so that actually is a switch, okay. And you can see how it's going to look. So the way you wrap it is when it's not in contact with that, the lights will not work. But when you push the switch, it's going to make contact with this section, with the wire, and that's going to activate, it's going to close the circuit, and it's going to activate the lights. Love it. So this is for the transfer of the decals as well as the steps for the wiring. All right. So this looks like it could be the instruction sheet. So we have the parts layout, and you can see the yellowing. Note, wash the model with warm soapy water before putting decals in place. So we're going to do that before painting. And you can see the the parts guide, and we already went through all that, all the parts. Star Trek the Motion Picture U.S.S. Enterprise instruction sheet. Important, read these instructions before you begin. Test fit all parts before cementing. Trim excess plastic from parts before joining. Cement parts for styrene plastic only. Do not cement together. You can see the if you're not supposed to glue it, and if you are supposed to glue it, the little key pictures. Paint all sub-assemblies before attaching parts. Use only bottle or spray paint made for styrene plastic. Spray paint and chrome away from surfaces to be cemented together. This kit may be built more than one way. Decide on which version you wish to build. Twist exposed wires together. Do not cement. Then tape the exposed ends of the wires with a piece of electrical tape. We're going to just go ahead and solder it. But again, a kid making this model, back in 1979, I didn't use a solder gun. Follow all the numbers on the instruction sheet. White numbers in the star indicate an assembly. Black numbers in a star indicate a completed assembly. Black numbers in a circle indicate the part number. White numbers in a black circle indicate identification numbers for the unnumbered parts. And finally, 2 batteries are needed for this kit. The batteries are not included in this kit. For best results, use 2 C-size alkaline batteries, 1.5 volts each. So, it looks like there is a step 1 on here as well. And you can see the switch, and where you do not cement because it needs to be able to slide. And you can see where the that rivet type thing is going to go. It's going to go on top of the switch. You can see the batteries that are going to go into the power housing. And we've got the sides of the secondary hull, and we've got the switch, and the wire just goes up for now. So moving on to step 2, you can see how we're going to have the leads coming off, and that's not coming from the base. You guys remember, one of the leads is going to go onto the switch, and that part is going to come up through the top. And then that'll close the circuit eventually. So these leads come out, and they're actually going to go up through the saucer pylon, and it's going to power the lights. And you can see how they have it where you can twist the deflector dish, it'll come off, and you can remove the power pack. Now we're not going to use that because I'm going to use the probably going to plug ours in because of all the lights that are going to be on it. And you can see the doors of the hangar bay. Note, turn the end cap clockwise to lock in place. Turn the end cap counterclockwise to open to make easy access to the battery pack. I get excited looking at this, just thinking back to my childhood. You can see we're starting to bring the wires. They're going to come up through. We're going to put on the bottom of the impulse engines, and we're going to put the sensor dome on the bottom. And I guess there is no clear plastic because I didn't see any clear pieces in this kit. So it's just the open. I'm thinking it was the 25th anniversary edition of the one that I had done. They actually have a plastic piece that lets the light travel through it. But anyway, you can see this is going to go on the bottom, and we're putting in all the walls with the windows on the outer rim. On to step number 4, you can see we're putting the facade collector onto the nacelle. The two halves of the nacelle go on the nacelle pylon, and that gets glued into place. Of course, we can't do it like this. We're going to be doing a lot more wiring on this one. In step 5, you can see we've got the LEDs. And you can see how they want you to put all the positives together and all the negatives together. And you can see they want you to tape them down. And we're going to tape the lights. Each one would get taped in front of the window section on the inside of the hull. Note, use a small piece of masking tape to hold the lights in place. You can see how it's going to look. Step 6. This looks like the final assembly. The thread is not included in the kit, but you can put the thread on and you can actually hang the Starship. Because you can see the way the switch is going to be, you don't need it for the base. You don't need the base. So I'm wondering, we'll pay the kit the tradition, and we'll put the switch in just like we did for the Klingon ship, even though it's not going to be the well, you know what, maybe we will. If we can hook everything up to run off of the plug and fire everything up through that switch, and that's what I'll do, just to pay homage to the kit. Modeling hint: to ensure a good fit between part number 1 and assembly number 5, use clothespins to hold in place until the cement has dried thoroughly. Again, you can see the keys. And going to the bottom, we have the decal key or sheet. And you can see the top note: refer to the box lid or any further information on decal placement. Peel off, press on decals. And you can see where the impulse engines are going to go, where the chiller grills are going to go. You can see the registry markings on the front, U.S.S. Enterprise NCC-1701, and this is going to go on the back of the island. In front of the impulse engine crystal, you can see the Delta logo going on first, and then the long United Federation of Planets. We have the docking port and the registry number that's going to go on both sides of the ends of the nacelles. And on the bottom of the ship, you can see the arboretums, and you can see what the panels that are going to go on either side of the bottom, as well as the thrusters. And we have that iconic NCC-1701 that goes on the bottom. And you can see rub down transfers. To apply the rub down transfers, follow the steps. Remove the protective backing sheet off the decal, and that's this part right here. For ease of applications, decals may be cut apart, so you can cut these up. Hold the decal firmly and use the decal burnisher. And again, the decal burnisher is part 28. It's this piece right here. And rub. The decal will transfer to the surface of the model. Carefully lift away the decal sheet, peel it away, and to make certain that the entire decal has been transferred. Place the protective backing sheet over the decal and rub firmly with the flat end of the burnishing tool. Spray several coats of the clear acrylic spray for an added protective coat. Yeah, so if I'm using this, I might not want to use a decal setting solution like the micro set on it. I would not recommend it. Once it's on, what I would do is I would put the clear coat protector, light coat, and then just put a couple of light coats just to make sure it's completely sealed in. But anyway, we're not going to use these because we actually have the full set of the Aztec and decals and the registry markings for the Enterprise refit. And that is the instruction sheet. And I think there's one more thing in here. This could be for the poster. And we've got Star Trek the Motion Picture. Look at that. 1979, guys. Star Trek posters. The full color poster is approximately 2 feet by 3 feet. First one is we got fantastic full color poster of the Starship Enterprise printed on mirror finished chrome mylar. That's pretty cool. Only $6. B, the Enterprise Deep Space in color, complete with major characters from the motion picture, 22 by 34. And then is my favorite. I love this one. The cutaway illustration of the Enterprise, complete in every detail, printed in full color, 22 inches by 48. $3. Oh man, I wish I could get this again for $3. I had this on in my room on my wall forever. I love that poster. And on the bottom, you can see the order form. I'm sure that that's not available right now. Sales Corporation of America, Woodridge, New Jersey. I don't even know if that's still an entity. You can see postage and handling is $1. So to get all of them, you're looking at $12, $13 with shipping. And you can see 1979. And there's nothing on the back. And that's everything that's in the box of this awesome vintage kit from 1979. So this is going to be a really fun build. And I got a bunch of goodies to show you guys where we're going to really go ahead and we're going to dress her up and bring her to life. Lighting her up between the decals and the clear parts. So this is going to be a really, really fun build. In honor of 3,000 subscribers, I want to thank you guys. We sacrificed the 1979 Star Trek the Motion Picture kit, and we're going to build her up beautifully. So my friends, if you were wondering actually what was in this kit, don't take eBay's word for it, because there could be things missing, that are already opened. This one came right out of the shrink wrap, and I showed you everything that this kit is supposed to come with. So my friends, until the next video in this build, I'll talk to you soon, and thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for subscribing.